Hey, what's going on? BJ Rains here, Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube, where we now surpassed 1,000 YouTube subscribers. So we appreciate everybody for doing that. It's Friday, and Jay Tust should have the Venmo in his account. So we got him for another month. We're excited about that. Jay Tust, happy Friday, man. Welcome to the show.
I can't believe how many fake accounts you had to create to push that thing up over 1,000 on YouTube.
It was took a lot of work, man. But, I hope it pays off with the what we're supposed to get for the payoff. But we already got people already chopping us for being late here. Kurt says it's 9 a.m. You're late again. You know what? That's the beauty of doing this. We can start whenever we want, Kurt. So sorry for making you wait for a few minutes. We were getting all the video and audio ready for today's show. And obviously, Jay, we always enjoy the shows that are kind of handed to you. And yesterday we found out about 9:30 in the morning or so that Sada Nganga has signed with Boise State, the highest ranked recruit ever in terms of a high school ranking when he signed out of high school. ACOT and some of those guys were a little higher, but they signed with other schools first. So the highest prep signee. And we're going to hear from Coach Rice. We're going to hear from Sada himself. And then we're going to take a look kind of at the roster moving forward and where we stand with Armouche and those guys and Shaver. So this will be a basketball centric show today, Jay, as we kind of enjoy days like this where we get something to talk about. We knew since February that he had committed, but to get it official and have it signed, obviously a big day yesterday for Leon Rice and company.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I don't think this was the intent of the NCAA when they started to change some of these rules when it comes to recruiting and the transfer portal and all that. But it's almost like the NFL and NBA off seasons now, or free agency and the trade deadline, where all of a sudden in a normally basketball, like we wouldn't be talking college basketball right now, but due to all the rule changes, there are a lot of unsettled rosters, including Boise State's, and it's still a pretty big talking point because, I mean, let's face it, there are at least 3 question marks looming over the Boise State program right now that could either force them back into being Mountain West title contenders or make it a little bit more of an uphill climb and maybe forcing them to hit the transfer portal once or twice. And so there's a lot to continue to keep track of and see how this all plays out.
Well, with Sada Nganga yesterday, again, a big day, the highest ranked prep recruit in history. I'll put some highlights of his on the screen here as we're talking about him. But what do you make of, again, they had him committed, and I know in basketball it's not the same as football. There's not as much decommitting and stealing guys and things like that. But to get him signed, obviously a huge day for the future of this program.
Yeah, there's no doubt that you breathe a little easier once that NIL comes in. I will say this, that is a little less binding than it once was, before even. So they feel great about it, though. It seems like he really likes Boise State. I know we're going to hear from him in a little bit here, BJ, but, he really emphasized his relationship that he has with the Boise State coaches. And he feels like, you look at what they've done in the past with some guys that like Chandler Hutchison and Derek Alston and Justinian Jessup and their player development. And he feels like this is a really good spot for him. So he's happy. Boise State is happy, and Bronco Nation should be thrilled. I will say this: let's temper expectations a little bit, at least immediately, when it comes to him, because he's coming off an ACL injury, still kind of working his way back from health. But before all that, he had a top 11 that included the likes of Arizona, Kentucky, UCLA, and I think some program named Kansas. I don't know if they've ever achieved anything, BJ, but the who's of college basketball right there.
Yeah, and when I asked him last night who are the other schools you were considering, Kansas was the first school he mentioned. So yeah, I mean, Leon said that before.
No, he thought you asked him the school he hates the most, BJ.
Oh, we got jokes, man. I can't make jokes about Washington State. It's no fun. It's easier to take down the champions.
Dude, we went to the Final Four this year. Thank you very much.
All right. That's right. The NIT Final Four. I can't wait to see that banner hanging in the arena next fall.
Damn right you will.
You see some of the highlights here of what Nganga can do. He can shoot from the outside. He's getting, battling down low. And he kind of told me, he'll post up if his guy's smaller, but he has no problem. Obviously, if it's a bigger guy, taking him off the dribble or shooting from the outside. The guy really can kind of do it all. And it's just unique situation for Boise State, Jay, to have a guy like this that, again, probably would have, if not gotten hurt, had much higher offers. And by the way, the first question I asked Leon that we're going to hear is about the expectations that you mentioned, and that certainly is something we need to talk about. But just in general, a player of this hype, a player with these rankings, if he didn't get hurt, like you said, he was a top 15 player in the country. And Leon's always said you can tell, you can tell a guy's worth by what other schools are recruiting him. He remembered Justinian Jessup and Davidson was recruiting him. And he said, okay, if Davidson and Bob McKillop want this guy, I know he's a quality player. And so, back when they had Curry and were doing their things. And so to see this guy mention Auburn and Kansas and UCLA and some of these schools that he was considering, and to pick Boise State, I mean, you see a 6'10" guy shooting threes and then dunking on people. I mean, this is not the type of player we've seen at Boise State very often.
Right. And he is more of, once upon a time, BJ, we just saw, the height of recruits, whether it be college or NBA or whatever. And you're like, 6'10", that means he's a 4 or 5. But I mean, Sada's closer to a guard than he is any of that. And so he could definitely present some unique matchup problems for Boise State. And, I think the thing about him too is that you go back and you look at that Memphis game, for example. They had a lot of length on the floor. They're a very physical team. Sada's a guy that, I mean, he definitely gives you a mismatch on any given night, and that night really, more effectively might be a couple years down the road. We'll see, but either way, I mean, that is very intriguing to have in your corner, no doubt.
Rudy's saying, can you imagine the offense with Sada? Instead of having the center go out and screen at the top, we can send Sada to do that. He can roll and look for the return pass, more of a threat. Yeah, the pick and pop for the threes, maybe the things he can do off the dribble, as I mentioned. It is going to open up some things. But, Jay, you mentioned the expectations, and that's obviously a huge thing because, we're hyping him up right now. We're spending a whole 30-minute show talking about him. Obviously, we mentioned, Kansas, Auburn, UCLA. You're going to say, okay, this guy is a heck of a player. But I think that, Tyson Degenhardt's not helping Sada by what he did as a freshman coming in and being a starter in the freshman of the year. And I think a lot of people are expecting that or more from this kid. And so he did say he was healthy. He said he's back. Leon, told us, I think it was your question, that he's just kind of building it back. And we may actually hear that, I think, as part of the clip here. But, I just think that it is going to be interesting because I guarantee you in June 10th or whatever that first day is that they're doing the workouts and they tell the media, come out, who are we going to be getting video of? Sada Nganga. Who are we going to be wanting to talk to? Sada Nganga. So, I mean, it's going to be fun. I mean, it's going to be fun for fans to have a player like this, and it certainly raises the excitement level around what was already going to be an exciting, team and season. But I don't know if this is the one and done type player that some might think he is.
Yeah, and that's like it's so funny because it's hard to kind of navigate your way through this because no doubt you should be excited. This kid's an incredible talent, and while it seems like we might be backtracking some of that stuff, that's not necessarily the case, but it's just about reasonable expectations. Like I'm not talking about Tyson Degenhardt's production. I'm talking about Tyson Degenhardt's impact on the Boise State team. To expect that out of not just Sada, but any freshman that's ever going to come in and play for Boise State ever again is probably setting your expectations and your hope up for failure. Because what Tyson did this year, he was a perfect fit for what Boise State needed, and Boise State was a perfect fit for what he could offer them this season. So, I just temper expectations there a little bit. But as he gets back, I think the word that was brought up, BJ, was his explosiveness. It takes a little bit of time to get back and regain that explosion you had prior to your ACL injury. And so as they figure that out, as they get him into a college weight room and all that, and working with Tyler Whitmer, I mean, you have to imagine that they will unlock his potential. It just might take a second. There's nothing wrong with that.
Somebody was asking about Chandler Hutchison. Jay says, where does he relate to Chandler with the recruiting ranks? Wasn't Hutchison top 100? Actually, Chandler Hutchison, in terms of the ESPN rankings, is ranked slightly higher than Sada. Right. Chandler was 80, and Sada's 86, I believe, currently. Now, those numbers do change when the final signing days come out, and things could change. But Sada was higher in the 247 rankings, I believe, 76th. And Hutchison wasn't as high there, so I believe that's why they're calling him the highest-ranked prep player. But you had Paris Austin, I think, who was a top 100 player at one point. You had we mentioned Hutchison. I mean, there hasn't been many in terms of coming out of high school. You had Acott, as I said, and then Dutrieve as well, were both top 100 players, but they were signed with a different school first. Rudy's asking any word on Coach Barch. Usually coaching moves happen after signing day. And I will say, I have no, insight on this. We saw the report, I believe, John Rothstein saying that Florida State was targeting Coach Barch for an assistant coaching position. I would say in my 12-minute interview with Sada, he might have mentioned Coach Barch's name 10 times. I mean, he said he talked to him every day, and he was one of the main guys. And so for Sada's standpoint, if that would be a tough one if Sada comes here in large part because of Coach Barch, and then he were to leave to go to Florida State. So I don't know what's going to happen there. That's worth following, though, Jay.
That is absolutely worth following, especially because of Barch's ties to that area, and in particular Leonard Hamilton. Leonard Hamilton is a mentor of Coach Barch, so definitely
turned him
something
down once. He already turned him down once.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Jordan's asking, just curious, when would someone be able to do a run of Sada jerseys and other NIL opportunities after classes? That's actually a good question. Once he's signed, can you start selling his merchandise right away?
I think you can start to get the ball rolling on some of that stuff.
You might not have to wait, Jordan, until classes start. We should look into that. Big Wade says confidence after the injury is huge. Takes time to develop and trust your body. Different for every person. Yeah. Let's hear from Sada first. It's only about a minute clip. He obviously doesn't, he's still working on his English, coming over from Angola only about 4 years ago. And he was a man of few words. But let's hear a little bit from Sada from my interview last night. Do you like being you could have gone somewhere else. Maybe there'd been a lot of the 5-star, guys, and you'd have been, maybe like you said with Coach Barch a little bit further down. Do you like coming in with all the attention and having a chance to be the man at Boise State?
Yeah, because if you're good, they go find you anyway. It don't matter where you go. If you put a number and you still winning, they will find you.
So what are your goals at Boise State? I mean, I'm sure you have dreams of playing in the NBA, right? In the future. But what are your goals? For your time at Boise State?
Winning, do better. If I have to think that next year there was a better team, and they have two things. You go worse or you go better. And the only thing you have to get better. Win every game.
Was that seeing them win the championships and stuff? Did that get you excited, knowing you're coming to a place that does do a lot of winning?
Yeah.
Well, there he is, Sada Nganga. And Jay, he said it right off the top there. He said, you know what? If you're good, they're going to find you. And it doesn't matter, what school you're at, if you're at the Sun Belt or if you're at the Colonial League, how about Damian Lillard at Weber State, right? I mean, if you're good, they're going to find you. And so, he wants to play in the NBA, and he has no problem going to a place like Boise State because he said if you put up your numbers and your team wins, they're going to find you. And I thought that stood out.
Yeah, I think that he mentioned something, kind of along those lines to me, BJ, about just the trust that the coaching staff has in their players. And he said, that, this is a coaching staff that I can't remember exactly the way that he phrased it, but it was definitely a complimentary way of saying they allow you to fail. And what that means is they allow you to work through things, and they trust the process. They want to develop you. They know that it's not always going to be perfect, and that there are ups and there are downs, but they allow you to experience all that, and ultimately it's going to make you a much better player. And so I think that excites him. I mean, there's a lot of times where, if you were to go to, that school in the Midwest that won the championship this year, the pressures of coming in and performing are heightened, especially if you have a lot of stars attached to your name. And I'm not saying that, it's not going to be any easier at Boise, or I'm not going to say that it's any easier at Boise State, but they just focus on, your development and just the way that they approach it. It might allow you to just mature at a different rate, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, and I do think that if you're at Kansas, you may not. You're definitely probably not starting, and your minutes may be way less than a year or two. You're transferring to a place like Boise State, so I mean, there is merit to going to a place where you have a chance right away for significant playing time. He actually said that in the interview, and by the way, the full interview is up on all of our social media channels. You can go to the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. The whole interview is up. It was about 13 minutes last night. Was going to save it all for the show, but wanted to go ahead and post it last night. But he did say that one of the reasons he picked Boise State is Coach Barch was explaining to him you can come start or play big minutes here or go somewhere else and really not be one of the main players. And so I think that is something he looked at in terms of the chance to earn significant playing time right away. Obviously, the closeness to where his Guardians lives in Arizona probably helped a little bit as well. Nate chiming in, kudos on the interview. One thing for sure, he won't ever say the wrong thing to the media. Man, a few words, and but I appreciated his time, and he I think is excited to come here, and I think Boise State's excited to have him. We're going to hear from Coach Rice in a second, but first, BoiseDentistryCo.com. I'm heading there next Thursday to get my teeth cleaned. Dr. Meinert does a great job. Our whole family has made the switch. Those are my kids there on the screen. I keep telling you, but I mean it. If you're looking for a new dentist, make the switch to Dr. Meinert, BoiseDentistryCo.com. Big BSU fan. You can talk BSU sports with him while he's working on your teeth. So the phone number's on the screen there, BoiseDentistryCo.com. They got locations across the Treasure Valley, so check them out, Boise Dentistry Co. If you're looking for a career change, Transportation Compliance Service can help you out, transcompservice.com. The trucking industry, over 1,000 people a day, Jay, are becoming truck drivers, and TCS is helping get them out on the road. All the permits, all the things you need, just let TCS take care of it, and they'll get you out towing that first load. It's a booming industry with the pandemic, and it's a very lucrative industry that maybe you hadn't thought of. And so think about becoming a truck driver and let TCS help you every step of the way. Transcompservice.com. United Commercial Insurance as well, 229-8222. They make business insurance easy. They can write policies in 44 states across the country. Again, big national company that's based here in Boise. So check them out, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. You may think you get good rates with business insurance, but UCI can probably get you a better rate. So check them out, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. Jay, Leon Rice, we had the chance yesterday to go down and talk with him. And let's hear what he had to say about Boise State's newest signee, Sada Nganga. And the first question was, I asked him about those high expectations and what fans should expect.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. And like you look at Tyson, I had high expectations for him. I had high hopes for him. He didn't know how quickly he'd get to that. I mean, he came in and became that person that we thought he could be right away, and was freshman of the year. And so it's hard, until they get here and you get to work with them day to day and they get to play against competition at this level, which is different. And then it's hard, you can't even begin to guess.
How do you, when it comes to a guy like Sada, obviously he's had injury histories in the past, so how do you kind of evaluate that? When I talked to him, I mean, he said that maybe started the season a little slow, but starting to feel really good again. Yeah,
it's, what he had was a ACL, and that takes a while to come back, and that's our priority is building him for the long term. So that that's the most important thing. So for when we look at the plans for the future, it's that's where it all starts, is the health and the the explosiveness that we got to get back for him, and all those things where he can stand up to the rigors of a college season and be able to do it night in, night out.
You were joking, or he was joking around that he was a soccer player growing up, and that his dad said once he got a certain height, he's like, I don't see very many 6'9" soccer players out there, so kind of encouraged him to pick up basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that he's had an injury history and whatnot, but like how far is he from his potential of what he could be? Is there still a level of rawness to his game, I guess?
Yeah, and that's the thing that that you can never tell. Like I said, like Tyson's a great example. I mean, I knew where he could start to go. You just don't know how quickly he can get there, and you just never know. Each individual's different, and so that's how we handle our player development. It's personalized for each guy, and it will be for Sada. But it gets you excited because, like I said, all those things I mentioned about him, his humbleness, his work ethic, his understanding of the long term, of where we want to go with this, with him and with our program, and he buys into all that, which is, at that age, it's really it's a huge sign of intelligence that he sees where it can go, not just the short term of, hey, I signed at so-and-so school. He's not into that. He's into the long-term development and where this game can take him. And like I said in the release, the sky's the limit with a kid like him.
What do you think impressed him the most in committing here and saying that this is the right fit for me?
I think there's a lot of things, the family atmosphere that we really have here, and the development that we've done, and the proof is in the pudding with the development that we've done on a consistent basis with a lot of different guys, and I think they really dug into that and saw that, and they know that we're gonna be committed to that, and that's a daily endeavor here, is the development of all our guys in everything. And I think he and his family saw that and looked into that pretty carefully, and I think it's one of those deals where people that know him, when he says he's going to Boise, they were like, that's a smart move, because you'll come out of there a great player, and I know that's where we're going to get some.
When you think about it, Jay, and again, the transfer portal and all this has so much to do with it. There's no guarantee you're going to have Sada Nganga for 4 years. I mean, just the current way it works. But if you look at guys that came in, a Chandler Hutchison, a Justinian Jessup, there's so many guys that you look at where they came in as freshmen and where they finished as seniors. Well, Sada Nganga's coming in, with a higher starting a higher starting point with some of his just raw ability and skills. And so I think that is what excites Leon Rice, excites this coaching staff, should excite these fans. If you think about that development that they've shown over history with a lot of these guys, James Webb, or all these guys that became, pro NBA players, you get that kind of improvement when you're already starting up here. The sky is, he mentioned the sky being the limit, and it is pretty intriguing to think about where Sada could be in a couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's interesting how much Leon kind of hammered that point home too, that Sada has like a long-term vision of what he wants to be, and how Boise State's going to play a role in that. And so that's probably encouraging, because it will give him time to develop. One other little fun fact about Sada that if you or me, BJ, I think we kind of lead off with a fun fact like this, like if it was us, but he kind of buried this and he didn't really go too far into it. But he played with LeBron James's kid for a moment. Like, they were on the same team there for a second, and so he's met LeBron, and so I think that just kind of shows you that he's been exposed to big time basketball. He's played on big stages before, so he'll I think his maturity will allow him to, as you were saying, that where he's going to start might be ahead of where some of those other elite guys at Boise State have came in, and it'll allow him to thrive. I'm certainly intrigued by it, certainly excited about it, and I don't think there's any better way to cap a record-setting season than by, adding the highest-ranked prep recruit in program history right after it.
I don't think Bronny James has signed yet anywhere, has he?
Nope.
Let's not get folks too excited. I haven't. That would be something though to get.
I don't even
James
know. Honestly, I don't even know how close they are. They just played on the same team for a minute. It sounds like.
Well, I want to spin it forward from Sada to what this current roster looks like. But first, the blueandorange.store.com. You can check them out, the Blue and Orange store there at the Boise Town Square Mall. All the new Nike gear, the jerseys, all the different colored shirts, everything from the car decals to the helmets, anything you want. The Blue and Orange store there at the Boise Town Square Mall can take care of you. Yeah, if you're not in the Boise area, you can order online, take advantage of their flash sales, the blueandorangestore.com. There's not a better spot for your Boise State gear than the blueandorangestore.com. Ridley's Family Markets, shop ridleys.com. I frequent that Cuno location, was in there a couple days ago. 13 Idaho locations. You can check out the one closest to you at shopridleys.com. They got the Middleton, the Star locations as well. At the at-home shopping, the Skip app, all the great stuff they can do for you. Ridley's Family Markets, they can do home delivery as well. So check them out, Ridley's Family Markets. And Jay, we can officially announce, because they have given me their check, so they're officially on board as a sponsor. Jay, is Tin Roof Tacos. I know you're a big fan there. Tin Roof Tacos will be at the Bronco Nation News Golf Tournament right here. There you go. There's their logo. We'll give them the love there. They're in. So Tin Roof Tacos will be delivering tacos. They're going to be set up at one of the holes for the tournament, just giving out free tacos. So we'll make sure that's the hole that Jay is stationed at for the tournament. But we still have some hole sponsorships and foursomes available. So if you're interested, June 3rd out at Timberstone, come join us, help out some good causes. You can get more information at bronconationnews.com, or you can email me, Rains, at bronconationnews.com. So the roster right now, Jay, for Boise State, as we finish up here for the last couple of minutes, obviously Marcus Shaver is still in flux. He declared for the draft but kept open his eligibility. I think both of us still expect Marcus Shaver to return to this team next year. Leon didn't say anything about that. Emmanuel Acott is a wild card. I think both of us probably expect it's better than 50-50 that he does not return next year. He has decided to turn pro also, but has put his name in the transfer portal, I guess, to see if there's anything out there. But it doesn't sound like it's a 0% chance. It sounds like maybe there's a little more of a chance than I gave it credit for. So there is still some possibility that Emmanuel Acott could decide, you know what, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, and he doesn't find the option he wants, and maybe Boise State would take him back.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I share the same opinion as you on that one. When he initially left, again, this might have been too low, and this has nothing to do with like Boise State. It just has to do with where E-Man is in his career and what he's looking for. Like, fans want to make it more. I mean, I feel like fans want to make it more hostile than it is at times, really. But he's 23 going on 24. Mladen Armush is 24 going on 25. And so these guys, and Leon Rice told us this yesterday, like, these guys are making different decisions at this point in their careers right now. Like, Coach Rice said, like, he's not just going to convince a guy that's 24 years old to come back to Boise State for a sixth year just because. Like, they want to be on the same page that not only can they make Boise State better, but they feel like they can truly still develop you as a basketball player and make you better. They want it to be a mutual thing. And so, when E-Man initially got in there, I probably pegged it, 5% that he was going to come back, but it does seem higher than that right now. I would still approach that cautiously. But
where would you go? I might go, 30%? Is that too high at this point? 25% now?
I'm comfortable 20-25, but I just to show you how fluid the situation is, I mean, these are such like stupid numbers we're throwing out at people. They really are meaningless, but they have gone up since the last time we talked about them. So who's to say they can't go up by the next time we talk about them?
Yeah. I guess my whole thing was once he said he was maybe going to leave, us not knowing the situation, I just assumed that maybe Boise State wouldn't be as open to bringing him back. But I guess when you look at the transfer portal and they're trying to find a wing like Emmanuel Acott, is there a better wing in the transfer portal than what you know and what you're getting in Emmanuel Acott? So if Emmanuel Acott doesn't find a better situation and Boise State doesn't find a better guy and they say, hey, man, re-recruit him and take him for the last year. I mean, so I guess once you think about it big picture wise, and we don't have any inside information on this, but it just, once you think about it, hey, if the options aren't better for him and the options aren't better for Boise State, why not make it work for another year?
Well, and if they do, BJ, I mean, that's where it gets kind of tricky because, we try to like work the scholarship numbers here. And if you get E-Man, Shaver, and Mladen Armush all back next year, then Boise State's roster is pretty much set unless somebody else leaves. Like, I don't think they have another scholarship. I mean, the only thing that they could do maybe is take Max Rice off scholarship and make him a walk-on. I personally don't think that's fair to Max because that kid's more than earned a scholarship. But it is like this. It kind of a luxury the Boise State has if they want to go that route. I feel like it would be more likely that somebody else would maybe free up a scholarship than Max. But I don't know if they really want to get tricky and they feel like there's a guy sitting there that wants to come to Boise State and Boise State makes them a lot better. And maybe Max, who's starting to be, he's an upperclassman now, wants to go back to the NCAA tournament. Maybe he takes that bullet. But on that note, like, just to reiterate, he has more than earned his scholarship at Boise State. So
no doubt.
Probably be a little unfair to him.
Probably so, yes, but you're right. I mean, it is the one luxury that Boise State has that not a lot of schools around the country have to potentially squeeze in an extra transfer if, some starter caliber player or a Kendrick Davis says, I want to come to Boise State or something. I mean, there is a chance. I would agree with you. It's probably not going to happen. But yes, you are correct. If Emmanuel Acott comes back, they would be out of scholarship. So that's the one spot they have, and I think they'd be okay with that. They either want E-Man to come back or they want to go find somebody like E-Man that could potentially come in. Now, Rudy's saying I would not be surprised if Burke Smith transfers. I don't know. You didn't sit out all of last year redshirting to all of a sudden transfer right away. I mean, he knew he wasn't going to play last year. He redshirted. So I think he gives it at least one more year. There's some other guys, Pavle Kuzmanovic. we'll see. Before we get out of here, Jay, I do want to play a short clip of Leon Rice. This is just about a 1-minute clip of Leon Rice talking about how he feels about their roster at this point.
All that stuff is a work in progress. I feel great about where we're going with this thing. We got, we got a lot of moving parts, and when talking to other coaches throughout the country, it's just a new era. The moment the season ends, it's your roster management and it's portal management, and it's just the whole landscape of college basketball has changed so dramatically in the last couple of years. And if our old mentors could see the new basketball world up close and personal, they'd be like, wow, this is so different than the way it used to be. And we've adjusted to that, and we're managing that, and it's going great. So I feel awesome about where we're going to be. There's no announcements to any of it right now, but because things are in flux with everybody, really, and so that's new.
I feel awesome about where we're going to be was the quote there, Jay. And so he said no announcements to make, but it sounds like he may have a pretty good idea on maybe a Mladen Armouche or a Marcus Shaver or who knows, even an E-Man at this point. But it does sound like privately he feels pretty good about the roster. And if he feels pretty good about it, Boise State fans should feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I think he said, right now, things that they won't sacrifice are chemistry and character. And those are two key ingredients that they need on their roster, and they feel like they're going to make them better, even more so than adding a certain amount of stars when it comes to a transfer. And Leon did not imply any specific team when he said something like that yesterday. But I will say this. Not long after that, you see Grant Sherfield transfer out of Nevada. Nevada had as much talent on that damn roster as anybody in the Mountain West last year, and it fell apart for them in a hurry. So you talk about chemistry, character, all that stuff. It matters. It matters greatly. It's the difference between finishing in the bottom half of the Mountain West and going out and winning an outright Mountain West regular season title and the Mountain West tournament title. So they'll see if they can continue to value that and if it can continue to put them on top of the Mountain West. But it's going to take a little patience. Thoughts are with all college coaches right now because it's the middle of April, and technically Leon doesn't even know how many scholarships that he has available, for next season. So it's a crazy time.
And I tried to ask him that like 3 times, and he wouldn't want to about like how hard is that, and he just said, you know what, it is what it is. And I also think that's because he has a better idea than he's letting on about what's going on with some of these guys. Perry says, does Milner have another year? Yeah, Milner's back. So yeah, Jay, and then I think 2 weeks from now, on Monday, we're going to start kind of a look at all these guys moving forward, an off-season kind of basketball breakdown. But I think I've got it set where 2 Fridays from now, as we wrap up the series, we're going to look at the Mountain West and some of those rosters. And there are a lot of players. You had Robinson's probably not coming back, I wouldn't think, for Fresno. But you look at some of the contending teams. Utah State lost Bean and lost Horvath. Colorado State lost their guard Moore, and from what I'm hearing, there's a chance that Roddy could stay in the draft and not come back. You have some other teams all losing guys, and so it's going to be interesting. A lot of these teams in the Mountain West, you mentioned Nevada, are getting worse, not better. So we'll have to see, but we'll let you go, Jay. I got a couple other things I want to hit on, but we appreciate your time today, man, and we'll talk to you Tuesday, and I believe it's Pavle Kuzmanovic. We'll see who we got Tuesday. We're going to talk Boise State basketball. We'll have a different player each episode for the next 2 weeks as we kind of break down their season, look ahead to their future with the program, and go from there. So have a great weekend, sir, and we'll be watching KTVB on the news this evening and all weekend. Sunday Sports Extra with you and Will, I assume, on Sunday night. So thanks a lot for your time, man.
Sounds good. Have a good Friday, everybody.
Appreciate it, Jay. There he is, the best in the business, Jay Tust, and we appreciate his time and thank him for joining us. Josh is wondering, can Grant Sherfield transfer within the Mountain West? The answer to that is yes. Grant Sherfield can, if he wants to, transfer within the Mountain West. He can go anywhere. I guess he already transferred once. He transferred from did he transfer? I'm trying to think where he came. With the Wichita State, I believe, that he came from. So there might be some rules there, but if he's a graduate, he'll have the immediate eligibility with the new rules, and it can do that right away. I did want to mention Lithia Ford of Boise. They're sponsoring our hole-in-one at the golf tournament. If you register for a foursome and you play in the upcoming Bronco Nation News Golf Tournament, if you get a hole-in-one on hole 6, you're going to win a 2022 Ford Escape from Lithia Ford of Boise. They're going to be out there with the car, and who knows, I think you can even drive it off the property. So Lithia Ford of Boise, lithiafordboise.com for your next new or used car, truck. We hope you'll get out there, the F-150s, all the great things they have at Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out and support them, since they support Boise State and they support Bronco Nation News here, and we appreciate their support. And again, they're giving away a hole-in-one. They're giving away a car. If you get a hole-in-one at the tournament, you win a brand new car. So how awesome is that? One of our title sponsors of the tournament is ICCU, Idaho Central Credit Union, for all your personal and business banking. They got the great app. It's our family is so happy we made the switch. We were at a previous bank and we couldn't be happier with how easy the app is, and the mobile check depositing and all the great things at ICCU. So Bronco Nation News, all of our business accounts are with ICCU. We couldn't be happier, and we appreciate them for their sponsorship of the upcoming Bronco Nation News Golf Classic. As, of course, ropaint.com, our title sponsor of our site, title sponsor of the golf tournament as well. roepaint.com. You see the website there. Power and people, pride in painting, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and they just do a heck of a job. My patio, I cannot wait for the weather to warm up a little bit. I got the TV out there, the fire pit, the smoker, and my back patio just looks so nice thanks to the work that ropaint.com did, taking a ugly cement slab and making it look very professional. So if you're thinking about it, call and get an estimate. Have them come out and check it out. It's more affordable than you think. ropaint.com. And again, they can also do the interior, exterior painting around the house, commercial, industrial, you name it. ropaint.com, and we appreciate their support. And as I said, we still have some foursomes available. Just signed up another group this morning, so we're starting to get there, but we're not sold out yet. So it's June 3rd at Timberstone Golf Course in Caldwell, and we do appreciate Timberstone Golf Course. Best greens in the valley. It's a great course, only about 35 minutes from the Flying Y. It's a great drive. You pop in a podcast, you get some phone calls done, and you show up and you're ready to play at one of the best courses in the valley. Kelly Christensen, Tad Holloway just do a great job out there. And we're looking forward to having the tournament there, but looking forward just to getting out this spring and summer and playing out at Timberstone. So we appreciate their support, and I hope you'll get out there and check out Timberstone. Just a beautiful course, some great holes, and get out there and play it before the tournament. If you're playing in the tournament, go check it out. Figure out all the different holes and know what you're doing, because this is a shamble format. It's a shamble, which means everybody tees off. You take the best tee shot, and everybody plays from the best tee shot. But from there, you're on your own. You're on your own, and then the top two scores in the group get added together to get the winner. So it's not a straight scramble format. We're going to try it a little differently and have some fun. So check them out, Timberstone Golf Course. The website for them is playtimberstone.com. If you want to get out there, you can make a tee time. It's very easy on their website. And again, the website, playtimberstone.com. So check them out, and you'll be glad you did. And we appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News. But a big day, big time for Boise State to get Sada Nganga in the fold. And again, the full interview with Sada is available at BroncoNationNews.com. So you can go to BroncoNationNews.com, click on the videos tab. You can also go to our YouTube channel, which we did surpass 1,000 YouTube subscribers. So we're happy and appreciative for that. So you can go there and watch the whole 13-minute interview with Sada. But big day for Boise State basketball. We appreciate Jay Tust for joining us. Appreciate all of you for checking us out. Monday morning, we'll start our 2-week off-season series, and it's not the only topic we'll talk about if other news happens or things are going on. But our series will be the next 2 weeks, looking at a different player on the basketball team each week and kind of moving forward with them and what their future holds with the program and kind of looking at their season. And we're excited for that the next couple of weeks. So we'll have daily content. I know it's the summer, but we're still going to be pumping out these shows 9 a.m. every day on the social media channels at BroncoNationNews.com. And then if the audio podcast version is a good way, whether it's Spotify, Amazon Music, or Apple iTunes, subscribe to Bronco Nation News, and we'll get you that audio version within an hour of these shows being over, if it's easier for you to listen later on the audio version as well. So appreciate everybody. Check out BroncoNationNews.com. Hope you'll consider a subscription, support our efforts, and hope to see you out the golf tournament on June 3rd. We're looking forward to it, but we still do have spots left, so sign up now and we can't wait to get that going. So we again appreciate Jay Tust, appreciate Joe Nickel for setting up the interview yesterday with Leon Rice, and Matt Brumley for making that happen, and appreciate Sada and his guardian Patricio for helping us make that happen yesterday. And thank you, of course, most importantly, to all of you for checking us out here at BroncoNationNews.com. So thanks so much. We appreciate it. Hope you have a great Friday and a great weekend, and we will see you Monday. Oh, one quick reminder: the Idaho Youth Sports Commission is doing their dinner, and they still have tickets left. You can check my Twitter account, Idaho Youth Sports Commission. Drew Bledsoe is the guest speaker next Saturday. They still have tickets remaining. Check it out. Go support them. I think tickets are only $85, and it includes like food and drinks and games, and they want you to not even dress up. You're supposed to wear your favorite sports team jersey. I mean, how much fun is that going to be? It's at the Jackson Jet Center hangar at the Boise Airport. So how awesome is that going to be? And again, Drew Bledsoe is going to be there as the keynote speaker. It's going to be awesome. And Idaho Youth Sports Commission, we're donating some money from the golf tournament to them. We're happy to be partnering with them, and they still do have tickets and spots available for their dinner next Saturday. So check them out. You can get the information off my Twitter account or just Google Idaho Youth Sports Commission, and it's going to be an awesome dinner coming up next Saturday, and hope to see you there. So thanks again, and appreciate all of you, and we will see you Monday. Bronco Nation News, 9 a.m. John Mallory will join me, BroncoNationNews.com.
At ICCU, to make a difference, it takes just one connection. A friendly face, an open ear, a helping hand. And then something amazing happens. We find out that we're better together. This is what Idaho Central does in our communities every day. We help our members with the small things and big dreams. This is what believing in you is all about. Idaho Central Credit Union, looking after your daily balance.